There are a few people in the PC gaming community who ruin it for everyone. You all know which people I'm talking about.
You play console? Consoles are fucking trash. You're fucking trash if you play console. Come over to PC Master Race at 4K. Shut up!
Yeah.
You know, every time I type into the YouTube search bar 5 or 10 bad things about PC gaming, I mostly find satirical videos. But every now and then, I will find at least one video that is sincere with their problems against PC gaming or the PC platform. And wouldn't you know it, not a single one of those points is ever valid or justifiable. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure that if people actually took the time to do some research, gain experience, and just think about it for a bit, then perhaps they could find inherently bad things about PC gaming. But as Pericles' video here will demonstrate, that is not the case. Because hey, effort, research? Who needs that when you've got your opinion?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Pericles here coming at you with a brand new video.
It's also one of your most hated videos, and one of the last videos you did over a year ago. But, you know, I'm just saying.
Last week, I talked about my top 5 favorite things about PC gaming. So this week I thought, why not do the opposite?
Because that would have been a completely retarded thing to do. So you did it anyways.
So here are my 5 least favorite things about PC gaming.
Wait. 5 least favorite things about PC gaming? But the title of the video is 5 worst things about PC gaming. That right there tells me that these 5 things won't be objective reasons, in which case you have a disingenuous title.
Now, without further ado, let's get started. To start off the list, we have the community.
This is seriously one of the worst things about PC gaming. Are you kidding me?
Every single community has idiots, and I mean that when I say that. Every single community has idiots.
In which case, why did you feel it was necessary to even bring it up? If each and every community, as you say, has idiots, then why do you specifically choose to use this against the PC platform, and not choose to use it against consoles?
To the bulk of the PC gaming community, we don't actually care what other people play on. We know that PC's better, but we're not gonna make a big fuss about it and, shit all over people who play consoles. That would be an asshole move, and it certainly would not convince console players to come over to PC. There are a few people in the PC gaming community who ruin it for everyone.
That's just the thing. You say a few. So then, if it's just a few, why would it even be an issue? I could consider it an issue if it was, say, I don't know, 70% of the PC gaming community. But as you stated, it's just a few. Not to mention, how can a few ruin it for everyone? More importantly, how can you allow them to ruin it for you? How are their actions going to degrade your experience? That's childish. I mean, I bash consoles all the time, but I'll never say that I won't play on consoles because of a small part of the community, because it's not a good point. It's stupid.
You all know which people I'm talking about.
No, I really don't.
You play console? Consoles are fucking trash. You're fucking trash if you play console. Come over to PC Master Race at 4K.
You know, I could sit here and do a retarded console peasant voice, spewing out all the same bullshit, but I won't, because it's a stupid way to make an argument. It's effortless, and doesn't get us anywhere. You gain nothing out of doing those impressions, and I get a brain tumor for hearing them. So please, don't do it again, dumbass.
So those people, they have to ruin it for everyone, okay? Some people just don't like PC, and I can understand why. Some people don't like console, and I can understand why too. No platform is perfect. Stop acting like your wonderful PC is the best machine on the planet. It's not. It has problems just like consoles.
When you say best machine, do you mean the best out of all the other platforms that you can game on? Because if that's what you mean, then yes, the PC is the best. You can argue for the games, sure, but as for best experience, most flexible price range, the countless amount of input devices that are compatible with it, and the overall freedom, it is hands down the best machine of the bunch.
Honestly, I think the best way to buy your games is buy a PC for all third-party games and a console for all exclusives.
You're saying that as if you can't buy a PC for just its exclusives as well, because the PC does have exclusives too. Granted, I'm not a big fan of exclusives. I understand why they exist, but if you're arguing on the behalf of exclusives, like I said, the PC has plenty. Not just plenty, but more than the consoles do.
Honestly, at the end of the day, if you really care that much about where other people buy their games, maybe you should find a new hobby.
Oh, but we're not going to use that argument against the consoles because, well then, we wouldn't really have any arguments against the PC, right?
Alright, moving on. Coming up next on the list are bugs and glitches.
What do you know? Another stupid point.
One perk that console has over PC is that most of the games work exactly the way they're supposed to, out of the box, without a problem. On PC, this is not the case.
It always depends on which game we're talking about, because there are a small, insignificant amount of games that are abysmal ports that have their own unique bugs and glitches, but like I said, an insignificant amount. However, the majority of big AAA games that are plagued with bugs and glitches are commonly shared across all platforms.
Out of all the PC games I bought in 2015, I'd say at least half of them had a problem I had to troubleshoot.
Half? Half? Why do I have the feeling that that's complete bullshit?
For example, Fallout 4 has weird performance issues on PC.
Fallout 4's performance on the consoles at release was abysmal. It was practically unplayable. But aside from the performance on the consoles, let's not ignore the simple fact that this is a Bethesda game. And what is Bethesda well known for? Don't pretend like you don't know.
Fallout 3 doesn't even work on Windows 10.
See, that right there is one of the prime examples as to why I insult people like you. You make these videos without going and doing a little research, because this is a simple problem I resolved myself. Within, I don't know, what was it, 2 minutes? Fallout 3 is still locked to Games for Windows Live. And if you don't know what that is, well, it's best you never find out. All you need to know is that it was a horrible service that never needed to exist. And because of that, a lot of people have trouble loading up Fallout 3. But if you look online, there's a simple tool you can download and install that removes Games for Windows Live. And if you have issues starting up Fallout 3 on your PC, you can always run the game in compatibility mode if that's an issue. But of course, you're not going to bring up answers to these problems. All you're going to do is simply name the issue and leave it at that, even when there's an answer to that issue.
And when I bought CSGO during the Steam Winter Sale, I couldn't even get into a game. No matter how hard I tried, I could not get into a game.
But can you get into a game now? Because if you can, then it's not even an issue worth bringing up, is it?
In Spec Ops The Line, after about an hour, performance drops to about unplayable levels. You have to close the game and restart it to get back to 60 frames per second. Games crash a lot. I mean, I know games crash on consoles too. I've had GTA crash on me on PS4 a lot.
Well, there you go. You said it yourself. Games on consoles also crash. Therefore, it's not an issue exclusive to the PC, which means it can be used against the consoles. But like I said, you're not going to do that here because then you wouldn't have an argument against the PC.
But games crash a lot more often on PC.
Well, obviously there would be more crashes on the PC than on the consoles. It's a much larger platform, with varying operating systems and hardware. Not everyone's issues are going to be the same on the PC, but in a way that's sort of a positive. The more problems that there are among a larger community, the more answers to these issues you will be able to find yourself. Not to mention, since the PC is an open platform, you are able to manually enter game files and edit them or insert mods that can fix these issues. Whereas on the console, if there is an issue, you have no choice but to wait for a patch. But don't get me wrong, I'm not completely dismissive to the idea of this not being something you like to deal with. But at the same time, You can't pretend as if there aren't any answers to these issues.
Honestly, the bugs and glitches are one of the biggest problems I have with PC gaming. But these bugs come with the territory.
The territory?
And that leads me on to my next part of the list. The maintenance.
Maintenance. Am I missing something here?
Say what you want about consoles, but there's no denying that they are maintenance free. Everything is so simple and streamlined on consoles that you don't really have to worry about any problems.
Bullshit. Nearly all hardware requires some maintenance to a degree. Granted, consoles perhaps require less maintenance, if that's what you're willing to call it, but that streamlined experience that you praise, it comes at the sacrifice of freedom. While everything has been simplified for you and doesn't really require too much input from the user, there are still those moments where you have to accept updates. There are still those moments where you have to insert the disk yourself and wait for the installation. There are still those moments where you have to sign into certain applications. Now, on the PC, as far as I can recall, there hasn't really been any quote-unquote maintenance on the software side of the PC that I've done since 2015. Hardware-wise, it's all been choice. But I am curious, when you say maintenance, what do you mean?
On PC though, there are so many things you have to worry about, and you have to fix all the problems on your own. Every so often you have to update a bunch of drivers individually, so you have to open up a bunch of different programs and download the driver for each one there.
No you don't. Since perhaps Windows Vista or XP, when has this ever been a necessity? The majority of updates happen in the background, and I don't even know. Not to mention, you do have the option to put a halt to those updates and manually choose whether you want them to be installed or not. But whenever there is an update to any of the games I want to play, that update happens in the background on Steam, and I don't even notice half the time. But here's the kicker. I love this. Listen, every Windows update I've ever installed was 10 times faster than any console update I've ever had. Isn't that interesting?
A lot of the time games don't work right, so you have to figure out what the problem is on your own. You have to clean the inside of your computer, you have to do registry cleaning, you have to do all sorts of stuff that you just don't have to worry about on consoles.
Registry cleaning? I have not done that once in the last 2 years I've spent with Windows 10. Not once. What on earth are you talking about? It says in your description that you made this video back in 2016. So I'm beginning to question, what operating system were you using?
And this is one of the reasons why I understand why some people might not like PC. A lot of people just want to relax after a long day and just pick up a controller and play.
Then just pick up a controller and play your games on the PC. I mean, I do it all the time.
They don't want to worry about any problems that might arise. And quite frankly, I don't want to worry about those problems either. It's incredibly frustrating to me to have to work out all these problems on my own.
If those are problems that arise for you, perhaps it's not the platform's fault, but the way you've been operating it instead.
Anyway, moving on to the next thing on the list. The exclusives.
Here we go. The exclusives. The best argument console gamers have. But of course, they're just gonna ignore the PC exclusives.
Now, don't get me wrong, PC has a lot of great exclusive games, okay?
Okay, there you go. Point made.
But none of them are quite like console exclusives.
Let me guess, they're not cinematic enough. They don't have enough QuickTime events. There's not enough third-person shooters with stealth elements.
There are no PC exclusives to compete with Halo or Uncharted or The Last of Us or Gears of War.
And what gives you the authoritative power to make that call exactly? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's all subjective, isn't it? The PC has thousands of genres that consoles don't have, ranging from games like Civilization 6 to League of Legends to Star Citizen. Both platforms have great games. I will never dismiss how good console games can be. What I will dismiss, though, is when people say that there are no PC exclusives that can match console exclusives, because only retarded people say that.
There are no AAA exclusives on PC.
Boy, what you just said was some stupid shit. This is one of the problems I have with the current gaming industry. They've taken the term AAA and plastered it onto games that look the part, that sound the part, but don't play the part. Meanwhile, there are games on the PC that I would call indie or AA and yet play like these so-called AAA. And if you're using AAA as a standard for what a good game is, or what makes a good exclusive, then I question your ethics as a gamer. Second off, if you're saying there aren't any AAA games on the PC, then clearly you haven't done your research either. I suppose you're just going to ignore Civilization 6 or The Sims 4.
I mean, I love PC exclusives, but my favorite game of all time is a console exclusive. One of my favorite series of all time is a console exclusive. There's an atmosphere to Halo that hasn't been replicated in any other game I've played. And while games like Undertale have great atmospheres as well, I think PC needs more mass-market exclusive games that appeal to everyone.
No, that's where you're wrong. Consoles need those exclusives, because without them, for the most part, there isn't a selling point to them. And even then, the concept of exclusives is slowly dying off. The PC, on the other hand, has over 125 million Steam users, and it has been doing just fine without these big AAA exclusives. I have said this once, and I will say it again. The best games are the ones that everyone can play.
PC needs an Uncharted. PC needs a Halo. PC needs a quote-unquote system-selling game. But until that happens, people are always going to turn to consoles for great exclusive games, me included. The only reason I'm not selling my PS4 is because of Uncharted and other Naughty Dog games.
1, 2, 3, so you're keeping your PS4 for a total of 3 games. Huh, seems reasonable.
That new game that's coming out, Horizon Zero Dawn, that game looks really, really cool. Games like Undertale, which I love by the way, great game, you should check it out. But games like Undertale, while many people consider it to be one of the best games of 2015, it's a niche game, not everyone's going to enjoy it.
So, what does that exactly mean? Do you require other gamers' validation before you yourself decide if that game is good or not? Does it matter if other people enjoy it, or does it matter if you enjoy it? What about it being niche exactly matters? In fact, some would argue that it being niche is the only thing keeping its quality. As history has shown us, games that are great and start off niche go on to become some of the largest franchises ever. But that doesn't mean that they stay top quality for long.
The bottom line is there are no PC exclusives that can really compare with console exclusives.
No, go on, keep showing us how close-minded you are.
I mean, the only PC exclusive I can imagine competing with console exclusives is Half-Life 3, and that might not even come out. At the end of the day, I want a PC exclusive like Uncharted. Great story, great characters, great graphics, and really, really fun gameplay. And I've yet to find any games that meet all those criteria.
Wait, did you just say you fail to find any PC games that meet any of that criteria? I'm sorry, but you're fucking retarded.
Anyway, moving on. The last thing on the list might surprise you, especially if you watched last week's video.
If there's anything your video has taught us, it's that surprises are the last thing we should expect from you. But keep rambling like a peasant. Go on.
I believe this is a perk as well as a downside to PC gaming. I'm talking about open source.
No. Please tell me you're not going down this route. Please, don't tell me you're implying that the open freedom of the PC is one of the worst things about it.
While the fact that PC gaming is open source gives a lot of benefits to players, it also gives a lot of drawbacks as well. Because almost everyone has a different machine, games have optimization issues.
Fallout 4.
Bitch, please. Fallout 4 was practically unplayable on consoles. As a matter of fact, since you have a closed platform, the only solution you had to the issues surrounding Fallout 4 was to wait for patches to come to your console. Meanwhile, on the PC, there were countless mods, solutions, and information easily made accessible, and you could have taken that information and those helpful tips or those mods, and you could have fixed the game yourself. Gee, it's almost as if the open nature of the PC allows for more more solutions that you just can't find in a closed environment.
DRM issues can decrease performance. I'm looking at you, Uplay.
Now this is news to me. Perhaps you're talking about de novo, the anti-piracy measurement that was implemented into games. And while doing a little digging around the interwebs, what I've been able to discover so far is that Rime is the one game that has seen better performance when de novo is removed. That is interesting. However, there hasn't been evidence to support that this performance issue applies to other games that have de novo implemented into them. So if you're just going to use Rime as an example, maybe, sure. I guess if you're gonna get a PC for just Rime, if there's anybody out there that exists for that one game, then I guess don't get on the PC. Yeah, it sounds stupid, doesn't it? But even then, I have no idea why you're using DRM as a problem connected to the openness of the PC platform. Because let's not forget, DRM can be implemented in consoles as well. There's one company that tried that. I don't remember who it was though.
And there's always the chance that you could get a virus on your computer somehow.
Are you serious? Your video was made in 2016, and even then, you're using the argument of viruses. Look, viruses exist. If you're stupid, they're easy to get. If you're slightly above stupid, chances are you'll never come across them. There's free antivirus software out there, like Avast, which is what I personally use. Or if Comcast is your internet provider, you get Norton. Hell, some people are just perfectly fine with the Windows firewall. I have no idea why you're using this as an argument. Is it because the PC is an open platform? Sure, that does leave it prone to more virus attacks. But yet again, you don't give a solution when there's clearly a solution.
And there's always the chance that you could get a virus on your computer somehow. Not necessarily from buying and downloading games, but just using your computer in general. It's happened to me before, and it got to the point where I actually had to format my entire PC and reinstall Windows.
I have legit never heard of someone getting a virus for just using their computer. When does this happen?
There are lots of different places to buy your games, and I recommend that you use those places, but at the same time, you're going to have to make a different account for each website. While being open source gives gamers a lot of options, it also gives gamers a lot of issues.
Do you listen to yourself? Do you? Because if you did, you would have heard that you said the word options. And that right there is the difference maker. Those thousands of options, hell, not even thousands, probably millions. Those millions of options include solutions.
Perhaps being open source might cause all of the other problems PC has. If that's the case, then while PC being open source is great, it's also PC's biggest curse. Because if it's the root cause of all the other problems that PC has, then without it, PC would be a lot more hassle-free.
Again, you present problems, and nearly all of these problems have a solution, but you choose to act as if these solutions don't exist. Because if you point them out, then most of the problems you have with the platform aren't even worth mentioning. I can't say the same for consoles. The issues consoles have are the ones that reside within a closed platform. Having to pay for online is an issue you can't fix. Subpar performance is an issue you can't fix. A limited amount of genres is an issue you can't fix. And it goes on and on. For each and every issue that there is on the PC, there's 10 solutions out there. But like I said, when it comes to the consoles, there are no solutions to those issues. You have to sit there and deal with them. You sacrifice all the freedom and the millions of options that you have on the PC for a little security.
Now, I'm not suggesting that we get rid of open source. In my opinion, open source is still one of the best parts of PC gaming.
If it's one of the best parts, then why would you use it as a negative?
But the fact that PC is open source makes it a lot more difficult to play the games how you want to play them, with the best possible experience.
No, you idiot. The open nature of the PC is what provides the best experience for those games. You're not limited to where you can buy them. You're not limited to their performance. You're not limited to what control options you want to use to play those games. And it goes on and on. The openness of the PC platform provides countless options to play these games.
Anyway guys, that was my list. If you disagree with anything on this list, explain to me why you disagree in the comments section down below. If you agree with me, you're also welcome to share your input. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.
Do I have any closing statements? Not really. I went about as in-depth with this video as I could. It's stupid, full of issues, but no solutions. It's completely misguided, and was clearly made for the sheer attention. But the best way to describe this video is with a very good quote. Those who surrender freedom for security will not have, nor do they deserve, either one. And with that being said, Discord. Join it if you want. I talk to people there often. Or follow me on Twitter. I reply to tweets a lot, most of the time, if you don't spam me. Oh yeah, and you can add me on Steam. You might want to do it now, before I run out of slots. Also, my P.O. box is in the description, if you ever feel like, I don't know, writing a letter. Some gay ass shit like that. It's been great seeing all of you and your gorgeous, sexy faces. And I will see you all again very soon.